Speaker Mike Johnson, this is the first time in U.S. history a party has shut down the government over a clean, nonpartisan CR funding bill. It's a selfish and dangerous political stunt, and Democrats have zero shame about the pain they're inflicting on hardworking families, our troops, veterans, and even women, infants, and children. Every day they stall, more Americans suffer. Democrats must end their shutdown now.
And it's also important for us to note, this is the first time in history that any party has had the audacity to shut down the government over a totally clean, nonpartisan continuing resolution. This is a political stunt.
Well, if you ask, what makes it clean, it's that the Republicans added nothing to this bill at all. It's the same bill that they've been passing for about 5 years now. They've passed the same identical bill, the same page count, the same text, same language, same grammar, same everything. It's exactly the same bill that they've passed 13 times over the last 5 years. Again, adding nothing to it. And he's just pointing out the obvious, that it just doesn't make any sense that Democrats would suddenly want to shut down the government over it.
And it's the first time it's been done, and it is the most costly, most selfish, most dangerous political stunt in the history of the United States Congress. Because as we have stood here day after day after day explaining all the Americans who are being harmed by this nonsense. And the Senate Democrats have zero shame about this. They don't have any shame at all about the pain
just
that
blame
they're
the other side as usual.
Hardworking families, upon soldiers and law enforcement officers and veterans and the elderly and the disabled and women, infants, and children. Services to all those categories and paychecks to those folks are being stalled because Democrats are playing games.
Yep, just a classic case of blame the other side for what you're already guilty of. And the women, infants, and children, he's talking about the WIC program. It's running out of money. And if the government remains shut down, it will completely run out of money. So they're trying to find funding for it, which I don't know if they're going to have to reach out to private entities. I don't know what they're going to do with that exactly, but it's a major problem. All right, Homeland Security, an alleged Hamas terrorist involved in the October 7th Israel attack was arrested in Louisiana. Al-Muhtadi entered the United States under the Biden administration in 2024. If you want to help us decide who will enter our country, join us, because they're hiring. And because it's a link to a page, I'll link it in the description if you want to check it out. But anyway, from Homeland Security, quote, "This is just pure evil, and it was right here on American soil." Trisha, Ohio. Mahmoud Amin Yaqub Al-Muhtadi, age 33, a Gazan native, currently residing in Lafayette, Louisiana, was arrested for his alleged involvement in the Hamas-led terrorist attack against Israel on October 7th of 23. Al-Muhtadi entered the U.S. on September 12th of 24 after providing false information in his U.S. visa application relating to his involvement with the paramilitary organization, connection to Hamas, participation in a terrorist attack, and military training.
Just want to show everybody here. This is apparently what he said in a call with another man on October 7th. If things go the way they should, Syria will take part. Lebanon will take part. It's going to be a third world war. It will be a war of attritions. That will be perfect. It's interesting because the speculation was that Yahya Sinwar believed that this would bring everybody together to attack Israel at the same time. So that's interesting. What do we know
It's
about
hilarious
him,
how the left
his
cheers them
whereabouts
on,
in the
too.
United States, and how did he get back here
Yeah,
again?
he's for Palestine.
Yeah, Dana, this is just pure evil, and it was right here on American soil. He applied for a visa out of Egypt, came to Oklahoma in September of 2024 under the Biden administration. They let him in. He was there and then it moved eventually to Louisiana. The Trump administration, Attorney General Pam Bondi has been spectacular on this and helping us locate this individual. He lied on his visa form saying he was not part of terrorism when allegedly he was part of a massacre at a kibbutz that killed 69 innocents, including 4 Americans. But Dana, this underscores the fact that it's not just the illegal immigration that was so broken under the Biden administration, but our broader immigration system.
Even our intelligence community.
They were letting in known terrorists like this individual to come into America.
Yeah, it's a hell of a ball they dropped.
Freely in our land after killing and being involved in the massacre of tens of people.
Tricia.
Yeah, I mean, if they're letting in confirmed terrorists into our country and just setting them free, off you go. You can go and live wherever you want. I mean, there was probably nobody they didn't let in. They probably let in literally anybody who wanted to come in. Which, you know the Democrats are going to do the same thing if they get power again, which history shows it usually jumps from one party to the other. And if Democrats get power back again, you think the floodgates were bad before. It's going to be a fucking nightmare if they get back in again. They're going to tear down every square inch of that border wall, and they're just going to be probably dumping hundreds of billions of dollars to third world countries. Everybody gets $10,000 each. Come to America. I don't know. Hopefully not, but all right. GOP RNC Chairman Gruters slams Jay Jones and calls out Virginia Democrats for continuing to support him following his violent comments. Quote, Jay Jones should not be on the ballot. It's disgusting. It's disqualifying. And I've mentioned it several times. If you're not familiar, Jay Jones, he's running for Attorney General of Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. And he sent a text communication with some person that he's friends with or a colleague or someone saying that he was having or that he dreams about his political opponent getting killed, getting murdered in front of his children, and that he would get what did he say? He said Hitler, and he said like, oh crap, I can't remember the other one, Goebbels or something like that. And then he named his political candidate. He said between those three, atrocious people, his political candidate would get 2 shots in the head. In other words, he's worse than those other 2 people combined. All right, anyway, here, let's hear what he says here.
The fact that Jay Jones said what he did, or the fact that all the Democrats surrounding him, including Abigail Spanberger, is continuing to support him and to help him be a part of that ticket.
I mean, he's a Democrat. Blue no matter who.
Disqualifying. Jay Jones should not be on the ballot, but what this is it just portrays the bigger problem that we're facing not only in Virginia but in America with the rising left-wing rhetoric of violence and everything else. And it's we have to do a better job, and the Virginia voters can make that point by voting for our ticket in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, they absolutely they put party above country. The Democrats do. They 100% put their party over the livelihood of Americans, over the country itself. And this is proof that they're doing that, because as awful as this guy is, as the awful things that he said about his political rival, they're still standing behind him because he's a Democrat, because we can't have another Republican get in, even if it's on the local level or even on the state level. So anyway, moving on to Rep. August Pfluger. San Angelo continues to set the standard for community support during this government shutdown. I'm grateful to see our local banks and credit unions offering 0% interest loans, and the city of San Angelo waiving late fees on utility bills and suspending service shutoffs for those affected. These actions are going to help countless families, but let me be clear, these measures are only necessary because Democrats continue to block efforts to reopen the government. Of course, he had to throw in that last jab at the end.
Government shutdown continues. Congressman August Pfluger and the city of San Angelo are announcing new steps to help those in need of a helping hand. The city is waiving late fees on utility bills and suspending service shutoffs for federal employees and retirees. Congressman Pfluger made the announcement late this afternoon while speaking at the San Angelo Visitor Center.
And I'm going to mention some highlights of the type of community help that is coming to our military personnel and to our federal workforce. It includes, from the banks and from the credit unions, 0% interest loans to cover the paychecks that would have been coming in should those paychecks be missed. It includes help with late fees on payments, mortgage deferrals, car payment deferrals. The city of San Angelo, Mayor Thompson has an announcement. I'm going to let him talk about what the city of San Angelo is going to do.
In response to the current federal government shutdown, the city of San Angelo is waiving late fees on utility bills and suspending service shutoffs for federal employees and retirees.
To receive the waiver, eligible residents must visit the City Hall Annex and present a valid government-issued ID.
I have a feeling some other places are going to follow suit with that, because that is a good idea. Helping out the federal workforce and the military. Rep. Roger Williams, every day our troops wake up ready to serve, even as their paychecks are held hostage by Senate Democrats. They keep their promise to America. When will Washington keep ours to them? It's time to reopen the government and pay those who defended our nation.
Just last week, in an interview here on Newsmax, you accused Senate Democrats of really putting politics ahead of people, ahead of country.
They put their party over people.
What is this shutdown really about for Democrats, in your opinion? When do you see this coming to an end?
Well, I don't know when it's going to come to an end. I really don't. But the Democrats don't want to give any favor to Trump. I mean, anything that's good, they're fighting it. I mean, they've been fighting moving money around so we can pay the soldiers. We didn't even talk about the military.
Yeah, they're talking about taking Republicans to court over that.
We don't do something. But they want to argue that we shouldn't move money around to pay the soldiers. It's unbelievable. So we need to keep doing what we're doing. Trump needs to keep leading. We in the House need to do what we've done and support the CR, get back in business, and negotiate all these ancillary items that the Democrat want to talk about just to keep Trump from getting credit for anything.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. No matter what, they just want to hold the government hostage, essentially. That's why I think it's going to go on for months. Congressman Troy E. Nehls, wow, Democrats admit that they're keeping the government shut down because they're terrified of their radical left base. Shameful. And this is from The Hill. I'll just read the whole thing. People are going to get hammered if they vote for the House-passed bill to reopen the government and keep it funded through November 21st, said one Democrat senator who requested anonymity to talk candidly about their party. A second person familiar with the political dynamics within the Senate Democratic caucus who spoke with The Hill ahead of the No Kings protest said centrist senators are fearful of breaking with leaders while party activists are planning the anti-Trump rallies. Quote, we would have enough votes to reopen the government if people were not terrified of getting the guillotine, the second person said. Good grief. Yep, that's the Democratic Party for you. Anyway, Senate Republicans last week, Senate Democrats blocked pay for more than 1 million American troops. This week, Democrats should vote for Senator Ron Johnson's bill to pay our military and federal workers. So Republicans, they have a bill on the floor, Senator Ron Johnson, to pay the military during the government shutdown. Do you think Democrats are going to vote on that? I have a feeling they might not. Senate Democrats, while families struggle with rising costs, Republicans are fighting to raise your health premiums by thousands a year. Share how much your plan would go up under the GOP plan. Share how much your plan. All right. Anyway, it got ratioed 95 likes to 148 comments. Of course, I gave it a like because I'm using my likes tab to go through everything tonight. Not sure if I'm going to stick with that system. I've been using my bookmarks tab, but I figured I'd change it up. Anyway, if you need to prop up the ACA with endless subsidies, it already failed. Democrats just don't seem to get it, but they do. Obamacare ruined our health insurance industry, not Republicans. And anyway, so I'll move on to the next one. Caroline Levitt, for the record, President Trump wants everyone to get paid because he wants to reopen the government. And this comes from Daily Wire. Haynes, quote, if Congress just said we're not going to take our paychecks till we figure this out, that would be a noble step in the right direction. Sanders, not everybody can afford to do that. Haynes, neither can the people that aren't getting paid, though.
It's easier for the politicians in D.C. to go away from each other and say, we will win this way, while people are losing their paychecks. If Congress just said, we're not going to take our paychecks till we figure this out, that would be a noble step in the right direction, I would say.
That's not everybody can afford to do. You got some young people there with kids there.
Either can the people that aren't getting paid, though.
I think that's a fair point. I think that's a fair point.
Yeah, but what have you voted for, Bernie? I'm pretty sure he's voting against it. So maybe he might change his mind and be one of the 5 that they need to reopen the government, but I somehow doubt it.